Hello, social workers, mental health professionals, and change agents. Welcome to another episode of the Social Work Rants Podcast. I'm your host, Bas Moreno. Saludos a todos. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in wherever you are watching or listening to this podcast. I appreciate the love and support. Gracias a todos por su apoyo. You continue to follow the podcast on Instagram at the Social Work Rants Podcast. Shout out to everybody who's been watching or supporting or listening to the podcast, however you listen to podcasts on the YouTube. Please leave a comment, share episodes, like the posts, download, however you consume the podcast. Definitely shout out to you. Before I get started on today's topic, I did want to share for all my techies. If you're into tech, I am one of the brand ambassadors of Diversitech. It's a black-owned um, tech organization called Trubaja, located in Philly. And every year they do Diversitech in Philly. It's March uh, 19th to the 21st. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Um, if you're interested in tickets, definitely reach out, DM me on on Instagram, and I could send you the link for 10% off on tickets. So, uh, and again, if you're into tech or you're trying to transition, social work transition into tech, or just curious about tech in general, is a lot of dope people. I've been there a couple years ago. I had a good time, and definitely looking to support a great conference and definitely meet people and try to get my business out there and talk to folks. So looking forward to it. So this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the proposed SAVE Act and how it affects social workers, how it affects our clients, or how potentially affects our clients, how it protects us social workers and regular everyday Americans, and especially for the 77% of the females who listen to the podcast. This definitely affects you, especially if you're married. So um, let's get into it. So, as you may know, the House passed the SAVE Act is basically, according to the Republican side, they is like, oh, you need ID to go vote. All the elections that I've participated in, I've always needed some form of ID to vote. But they trying to make it harder to people to vote, uh, instead of not needing a driver's license or a real ID, because there's still many folks without a real ID. But you're going to need a passport, either a passport, birth certificate with a photo ID, or naturalization papers. Not a real ID, not military IDs, and not most tribal IDs. So, day to day, a lot of day to day American folks don't even own a passport. I've looked at statistics; it's like almost 140 million Americans don't even own a passport. People who don't have money like that to be traveling. Uh, I know many of my clients don't even have money to pay their light bill, let alone travel somewhere. So uh, it's a lot of folks, and a lot of folks going to be affected if this gets passed in both House and Senate, and this goes through. I want to shout out past guest, two-time guest TJ. I saw a post. He was talking about he works with clients who who are unhoused for the most part, and trying to get birth certificates, and it's so hard to obtain birth certificates, especially if you live in the state and you were born in another state to try to obtain documents. Birth certificates is really, really difficult. And of course, many folks who are unhoused, uh, some folks carry all their ID on them, and many people, they move from house to house to shelter, or just living in the streets. You'll lose documents along the way, and you don't have enough points to try to get new ID, or try to get, or a way to even get a birth certificate. So a lot of people are going to get affected who are able to vote. um, it's going to affect a lot of folks. Um, Women, up to 69 million women who have changed their last name don't have birth certificates to match their legal name. Um, the bill doesn't clearly explain how marriage or name change documents are handled. So, if you're married and you changed your legal name, and got your life partner's last name, uh, hope you have your birth certificate in hand, or if you're trying to vote in the midterm elections. There's primaries that are currently happening. There's one in Texas, the big one's happening in Texas, happening. So uh, you don't need documentation to vote, and each state is different. So obviously, southern states gonna make it more difficult for people to vote. So, and this administration in general is gonna make it hard for Black and Brown folks and women to vote. So uh, things are really serious. To add to insult to injury, to be no no online registration to vote, no mail-in registration to vote. You can't even go to DMV to register to vote. You would have to go to the actual your local board of election office to register to vote, potentially. So that's already a painting in the behind, to say the least. Um, you know, Voters, there's some instances where voters might have to have multiple copies of their ID, just to cast a ballot. In states, heard states like in Georgia that they're rolling back. The Department of Homeland Security is rolling back the voter rolls, and the government, U.S. government, is asking for these voter rolls, and a lot of these states, Democratic states, are fighting back, not offering, and rightfully so, these rolls, because they're trying to purge them. And if you basically have like assuming based on your name, if you're a person of color, to remove you from the voter rolls, um, and without telling you. So it's a lot of stuff, with the Save Act that's uh, affecting us, the workers, our clients. Um, so just be mindful of, and even like the next generation, like those kids who might have just turned 18, or they're 17, about to be 18. Um, and they could potentially vote in this midterm election, uh, making it very hard for them to to vote. So if you work with teens, and teenagers, like, or you have teens, and having those talks with them, and get ready to get them to register to vote, or at least be registered. Um, so I don't know if you saw the. I actually sucked it up and watched the almost 2 hour shit show Orange Man was talking about. Just a lot of lies as usual. Um, the only truthful thing he said was about Nancy Pelosi and the stocks. Nancy Pelosi's made millions and millions of dollars in her stock picks, um, potentially insider trading, which is illegal, but she's made so much money. Uh, so that's the only truthful thing he said in almost 2 hours. Just a lot of nonsense. It was just I just find some of his stuff like amusing. He just doesn't care. He's just a big a hole that he's just gonna do what he's gonna do and doesn't care in the world. Does not care, and he's just gonna do what he wants to do. And basically like telling the Supreme Court justices, I'm gonna increase tariffs, whether you like it or not, basically, in front of their faces, and they just stood there like just about to cry. So it is a lot, and this first year and some change in office has seemed like 10 years, and I keep on the podcast, I keep saying it's going to get worse before it gets better. So, and I'll continue to say that. Not even like Epstein files are going to change that. Is you know, it's a lot. So the Save Act is a lot. Yes, you could call your local Congress people, um, congressman, congresswoman in your states, and let them know to vote no. Um, but we got to keep talking about it and really give the real deal of what the Save Act actually means. It's not just have ID to go vote. I just gave you a whole rundown. It gave you actually the difficulties of actually getting a birth certificate, actually getting social security cards. You know, when you go to DMV just to get a driver's license, you need 6 points minimum to get a driver's license or state ID. And if you don't have a birth certificate, you can't get a state ID. So it is all these things that uh, you know our clients that we deal with, and many of that you don't have to be unhoused to not have all these documents, IDs that you need. Like there's many folks that they move, live in different states, and from where they were born, and when you move, you might lose your documents or misplace them, and you're trying to get new ones, and you got to take time off of work to go get new documents, or go online, pay a fee. There's money involved to especially for birth certificates. So, or many folks might live in like Puerto Rico or somewhere in the Caribbean or somewhere else that's not in America, and you need to get a birth certificate from your homeland, and that's a whole other couple worms right there. So it it is just more than just ID to go vote, because I've always needed to show ID, and the city where I live at, they shout out your name after like it was like, well, Bas Moreno is here to vote, and so they shout my name out after checking out my ID. So it's uh it's just a lot of madness in what is happening, and more folks need to be talking about it. Uh, and I know it's hard because it's between the Epstein files, the media is not really pushing this. There's, mainstream media is not pushing this. They focus on this, and Trump does this, and Trump purposely does two, three things, four, five things all in one day to distract folks. And he's trying to do something else. And he potentially wants to bomb Iran, and there's stuff with China and doing this and doing that. And it's hard to keep track of what's the real deal is happening. But we literally got folks day in, day out who struggling to pay rent, struggling to pay their light bill. Utility prices keep going up. Food prices doesn't Trump is not lowering the cost of living. Doesn't matter what he's saying. He could lie for like 10 hours straight, yeah, saying the prices are going down. It's not going down. So uh, people are really struggling day in, day out to put food on the table. Uh, People losing their jobs. It's layoffs happening all the time, and it's like every day companies laying off hundreds and hundreds of workers. So there's more there's more people unemployed probably since pandemic. So or as much as people were unemployed during the pandemic. So it's people don't have time to be dealing with the distractions, and I get that because people are focusing on the day now, like they're like right now. How can I put food on the table? How can I pay my mortgage, pay my rent, pay for food, pay for lights, pay for gas, pay for water, like so. It's a it's a lot, and then add like potentially not being able to vote, and you've always voted, and now they're making it difficult because you're a person of color to they're making it difficult for you to go vote. And this is a very big election, and this government is already got wheels in motion to steal another election for, because Orange Man doesn't want to be impeached, even though he already got impeached twice already, and he's still acting a fool in 2026. So I don't know what impeachment is going to do. Maybe he'll really be impeached and really be out of office and never then put rules in place that he can never run again. But no, who knows? Um, and time will tell with that. A quick episode. Just wanted to go over the Save Act and for folks to really understand, like, there's clients out there who struggling with getting IDs, and there's where case management comes involved. There's case management programs. There's PACE programs. Hospital social workers that come into play that try to get these documents. So be open minded to get help your clients potentially get their documents that they need if they don't have, or during assessments ask if they have or their IDs necessary, or just have IDs that the government is asking for, and just take it one day at a time. That's all anybody can do. And until next time, folks, peace. Stay safe.